Okie dokie. I am back. I think I'm just wishing for snow with this background. I think we could all use a snow day. They're still going to make us work and go to school though. So, but at least we could do that from home, right? Some of you probably are at home. I like being at home, and I like snow, but I like it to be like for maybe a day or two. And then I am ready to get back out. I know we had a long Christmas break, uh, and while I do love being out, I love spending time with my family and holidays and all that, I do not do well without a schedule. So I was so ready to get back to my normal schedule because I just feel a lot better when I have a routine and a schedule. But that's just my personality. Um, make sure, see if there's anybody else trying to join real quick. No, it doesn't look like it. Who likes snow? Are you a snow person? Hate snow? Some people say, not me. I love snow, like I said, as long as it's, only for a couple days and I don't get too stuck for too long. I do not want anything to do with ice storms. Those are no fun at all. But snow ain't too bad. Okay. I kind of think we all need a snowstorm so everybody will stay home for a few days with all this COVID going around. It might slow it down. Hopefully. We'll see. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started and let me look here. I'm going to turn that off and get my video out of the way. And we are going to go over a couple of things here. Let me get to my screen and I'll share that with you here in just a minute. Move that over. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen with a page that says words in context. Can all of you see that right now? Just drop me a yes or a no so I know that it's working. Okay, that's yeses. Okay, and then I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. Oh, that's the wrong way. Okay. All right, so we're just going to go over some assignments that you did. Hopefully you got to get through the most part of them. If not, don't panic. You can get on there anytime and complete your assignments between now and the next class time. Just a reminder, as you embark on a new journey, keep an open mind. Some of this may seem very, out of your comfort zone sometimes when you're starting something new. But you never know what could be until you try. So don't waste the opportunity. Okay, this is the first assignment that you did. Determine word meaning. Word meaning. I got tongue tied. Okay. So sometimes you'll come across unfamiliar words like we talked about, and you can use those context clues to help you figure out the meanings of these words. So here was the example. As Evan and Hans made their way across the snowy field, they came across two sets of footprints. Hans recognized the first set as belonging to a rabbit. Pointing to the other set behind the first set, he could tell that the prints belonged to a larger mammal, perhaps a mountain lion. The rabbit was being pursued by the larger animal, Hans said. The larger animal was hoping to make a tasty meal out of the rabbit. As the men followed the footsteps, they could tell that the rabbit outran the larger animal. So let's talk about the context clues. What clues help you understand the meaning of the word pursued in the passage? So let's look at that. And it's underlined here, right here. And I'm going to use my little handy dandy pen. Okay. So Hans' remarks show that the word pursued is a verb or an action word. Reading ahead, you can figure out that the larger animal was chasing the smaller animal. If you use the word chased in place of pursued, the sentence makes sense. Pursued means chased. Okay, so let's look at this example. Mountain lions are also known as pumas, cougars, and panthers. They are large, brownish cats that live in many different habitats. These can include desert, swamps, and forests. They prefer to be hidden rather than in the open in order to surprise their prey. What is the meaning of the word habitats as used in the passage? So here it is. Usually the meaning of a word or the definition can be found in directly after that. If you look at this next sentence, these can include deserts, swamps, and forest. Well, what are those? They are places. So the answer would be B. Oh, okay. Let's see. Mountain lions rarely attack humans. However, I didn't even erase that page. Give me just a sec here. I thought I had cleared all this. Oops. Now I've made this so small, guys, that I can't even see it. Bear with me. There's my eraser. Let's just fix that. Oh, it's not going to let me fix it because I'm sure it's fine. We'll work through it. First day of class. Got to have a technical difficulty. Okay. Mountain lions rarely attack humans. However, people should use caution while they are hiking or biking in the wilderness areas where mountain lions are known to live. Here are a few recommendations for ensuring your safety when enjoying outdoors. These suggestions will lessen the chances of having unwanted encounters with mountain lions. Never hike alone. This is good advice whether or not mountain lions live in the area. Situations can arise in which you might need the help of another person. Keep children near you at all times. Do not let them wander out of your sight. Number 3, if you see a mountain lion, try to stay calm. Do not run away from the lion. This could elicit or set off the mountain lion's instinct to chase you as if you were prey. Do not move forward. Do not move toward the mountain lion. Instead, stand your ground and make eye contact with the animal. Do not bend over or crouch down because this will make you more closely resemble a mountain lion's four-legged prey. Stand upright and try to appear large. Speak in a loud voice and wave your arms. When the mountain lion sees that you are not prey, it will usually find a way to escape the situation. Just remember that when you first encounter a mountain lion, your main goal is to convince the lion that you are not its prey by standing tall, speaking loudly, and waving your arms. You also tell the lion that you may be a danger to it. Okay, so number 1, here are a few recommendations for ensuring your safety when enjoying the outdoors. Which word means the same as recommendation? Is it A, outdoors, C, chances, B, suggestions, or D, encounters? So if you look at recommendations, and then the sentence immediately that follows, here's recommendations. It says these suggestions. So it's basically rephrasing that word recommendations. So it is B. Let's see. Number 2, situations can arise in which you might need the help of another person. What does the word arise mean? Does it mean awaken, happen, stand tall, or move forward? Um, if we look at it in the passage, let's find where it's at. Mhm. These suggestions. I can't even find it now. Let's see. Situations can arise. I've lost it. Okay, when it's used in this context, it means to happen. Awaken doesn't make any sense. Sometimes people think, rise and shine, but it's not rise, it's arise. That means that they come up, they happen. Let's see. This could elicit or set off the lion's instinct to chase you as if you were prey. What word or word helps you understand the meaning of the word elicit? Okay, so if you look at the sentence, they're using those punctuation, uh, like we talked about, to give a definition. So this could elicit, comma, or set off, comma. So in between those commas, they're giving you the definition of elicit. So it is to set off. So it is B. Let's see. Do not bend over or crouch down because this will make you more closely resemble a lion's four-legged prey. What does the word resemble mean? Okay, so if you look at the sentence, this will make you more closely resemble a lion's four-legged prey. So if you're resembling their prey, that means you look like their prey. Okay. All right, let's look at this memo. This is a workplace assignment. To all maintenance personnel from R. Jones, maintenance supervisor. You may have noticed that we have purchased and installed the latest Q10 machines. We must add these machines to our preventative maintenance or PM schedule. Familiarize yourself with the instruction manual your team leader will give you. Note that these are very technical machines that require careful PM. Your team leader will show all members of your team the PM procedures for the Q10. You will then be assigned one part of the PM for all of the Q10 machines, and your part of the PM will be listed on the complete PM schedule. As with most PM, the Q10 will need to be included or oiled every day with a high-grade oil to make sure its moving parts run smoothly. Because the Q10 is a complex apparatus, the machine must be adjusted on a daily basis to make sure it performs efficiently. The flag on the machine tells how often each PM task must be done. Your team leader will assign and schedule these tasks for team members. Okay, question number 1. As a member of the machine maintenance team for a large manufacturing company, you receive this memo. Based on the passage, when machinery is lubricated, it is, okay, so does it mean made slippery, given fuel, moved around, started up, or cleaned and washed? Well, let's look at what it says. It's right here in this sentence. Okay, as with most PM, the Q10 will need to be lubricated. There's the word, and its definition is in between these commas, like we were talking about. They use punctuation to indicate a definition. So it means lubricated or oiled. Well, what does oil do? It makes things slippery. So that is what lubricated means. Okay, question 2. A section of the memo explains that you must make daily adjustments to keep the apparatus performing smoothly. What is the meaning of the word apparatus? Is it schedule, oil, team, flag, or machine? Okay, so let's see. Because the Q10 is a complex apparatus, okay, there's the word apparatus. Sorry, I'm covering it up here. And then it's comma, the machine. So directly after that comma, they're using punctuation again. It says the machine. So the apparatus means machine. It's just paying attention to your punctuation to find your definitions, okay? Just like we talked about in our lesson. Let's see. I have no idea. Looky there. I just downloaded this new Epic Pen app. So apparently I don't know how to use it quite right yet, but I will get there. I promise. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, this is an employee questionnaire. This is another one of the workplace assignments you had. Thank you for applying for a job with Big Breeze Wind Energy Company. We are delighted that you want to work in the exciting field of renewable wind energy. Before completing the full detailed application, there are a few important things we need to find out about you regarding your qualifications. Please answer the following questions by checking yes or no for each item. Return this form to the Human Resources Administrator when completed. And here are the questions. Do you have acrophobia, fear of high places? Do you have experience and or training in computer systems monitoring? Do you have experience and or training in computer troubleshooting and repair? Do you mind working outdoors in all types of weather? Do you mind driving in all types of weather? Do you own your own car or other vehicle? Do you live within 25 miles of this facility? Do you have training in aerodynamics or airflow? Okay, let's look at question 3. Are you applying for the position of a wind? Okay, you are applying for the position of a wind power maintenance technician at Big Breeze Wind Energy Company. You have been asked to fill out the above questionnaire. Wind turbines are often several stories high. Why might having acrophobia disqualify you for this job? So let's think about this. So what is acrophobia? Okay. Acrophobia. It's in this first question here, right here. And if you look in parentheses, they're giving you that, they're using punctuation again. In parentheses, they're giving you the definition. Acrophobia is the fear of high places. Okay, so wind turbines are often several stories high. So why might acrophobia disqualify you for this job? Well, is it because it is the fear of outdoors? No. Because it indicates lack of relevant experience? No. Because it is the fear of being in high places. That's what acrophobia is, according to this definition up here that we picked out. Okay, why might training in aerodynamics qualify you for this job? Okay, what is aerodynamics? Let's look at it. Okay, in this last question over here, here's aerodynamics, and then we have a comma, and it says or airflow. It's giving you the definition. So aerodynamics means airflow. Okay, so why might training in aerodynamics qualify you for this job? Is it because you have training in zookeeping? No. System control? No. Storm chasing? No. You have training in airflow. Airflow is the definition of aerodynamics. Okay, so number 5, by finding out about an applicant's qualification, the company is learning what? If the applicant has the skills needed for the job, family history of the applicant, what the applicant wants for starting salary, how long the applicant plans to stay at this job, whether the applicant likes to drive. So what they're trying to find out is if they have the skills needed. Okay, that's what all these questions are for. They're just trying to figure out if they have the skills needed for this type of job. Okay. Let's see. See, look at me go. I'm figuring this thing out here, guys. Okay. Writers make choices about the words they use, and these choices affect the meaning and tone of their writing. All words have basic dictionary meanings, but they also have connotative meanings, which are the association the word brings to mind. So connotative meaning is let's see, here's our word. Connotative means associations with the word that it brings to mind. Okay, so let's look at this example down here at the bottom. The Princess Bride is a gold mine of quotes. Lines from this 1987 classic are still in use more than 30 years after the movie's release. Even today, some theaters show the movie and encourage fans to quote along with memorable lines such as inconceivable and as you wish. Okay, I don't know if any of y'all have ever watched The Princess Bride. I love that movie. If you have seen it, tell me in the chat box. If you haven't, I strongly suggest that you watch it. It's hilarious and it's got action, adventure, comedy, love story all in one. So the question is, what is the connotation of the word classic as used in the passage? Okay, so it says classic right here, and then it says still in use more than 30 years after the movie's release. So if something is still used 30 years after its release, what does that say about it? Something that is old and typical of the period, something that is old but well maintained, something that is old but valuable, something that is old but stylish. I would say something that is old but valuable. Things that have value tend to be the things that we keep around for 30 years. Okay, so that is the connotation. Let's see. Trash that. Okay. Tragically, many small business owners in our town are trying desperately to fend off the corporate giants that want to take over our town. The latest example is the Happy Day hardware store, a family-owned store that may soon be forced to close because it can't compete against a huge national hardware chain. It's happening all over the country, but it doesn't have to happen in our town. Let's show the tough guys that we value our mom and pops stores. They are part of a community. They are our friends and neighbors, and we won't see them defeated by a giant chain store run by strangers who do not share a history and affection for this place and its people. The big hardware stores have a wider selection and lower prices. It's true, but we are willing to sacrifice our locals. But are we willing to sacrifice our local store and the people who have served our community for decades just to save a few dollars? The big stores will come, but that doesn't mean that we have to abandon our own homegrown businesses. Let's demonstrate the best in us. We urge you to go buy Happy Day this week and show your support by buying something and pledging to remain a loyal customer. Okay. Number one, tragically, many small business owners in our town are trying desperately to fend off the corporate giants that want to take over our town. Okay, so what is the connotation of the word giants? In other words, what is this trying to tell us? In context here of this passage, what does giant mean? Does it mean extremely tall person or things, enormous and threatening persons or things, very, very talented, accessible persons, or large, strong fictional characters? Well, it's not fictional. Fictional means it's make-believe, right? So it's something that's real. It is enormous and threatening person or thing. Okay. If you're a small business a corporate giant such as Walmart. Say if you have a little hometown general store where you sell lots of, food and clothing items and different toiletries, you're just a little mom and pop store. If Walmart comes into town right across the street and opens, that is a threatening thing to your business or to your livelihood. Okay. So that is the connotation that is used in this passage. Okay. Number 2, they are our friends and neighbors, and we won't see them defeated by a giant chain store run by strangers who do not share a history and affection for this place and its people. What tone is suggested by the writer's use of the word strangers? Is it meant to be humorous, a hopeless tone, a tragic tone, or a threatening tone? Well, it's meant to be threatening. If you look at the word strangers, it's saying, we're not going to let our small businesses be put out of business by strangers, and we're not going to let this town and this chain store run by strangers ruin our hometown businesses. So it is a threatening tone that they're using with that word stranger. So stranger danger, right? Number 3, but are we willing to sacrifice our local store and the people who have served our community for decades just to save a few dollars? What is the connotation of the word sacrifice in the 3rd paragraph? Okay. Are we willing to sacrifice? Is it willing to give up something, accidentally losing something, eagerly offering something, helplessly accepting something? Well, if you're making a sacrifice, that means you would be willingly giving up something. So it wouldn't be accidental. You're deliberately making a choice to shop in this situation at a mom and pop store rather than a big giant store. Okay. So that is the connotation of the word sacrifice in this passage. Which word in the last paragraph best suggests its persuasive tone? So what is it trying to persuade us to do? Which word is persuasive? Abandon, homegrown, urge, or loyal? So look at this last paragraph. It says, let's see, the big stores will come, but that doesn't mean that we have to abandon our homegrown business. Let's demonstrate the best in us. We urge you to go buy Happy Day. So they're urging us. Okay, this is what they're trying to persuade us to do. They're trying to persuade us to go and shop at this mom and pop store so that it doesn't go out of business and can remain in the town. Okay, so urge is the persuasive word that they're using. Okay. Okay, let's talk about figurative language. Everybody still with me? Not putting anybody to sleep? Okay. Figurative language is the use of words and phrases in ways that are different from their usual meaning. When we say it's raining cats and dogs, we mean that the rain is coming down hard. We do not mean that cats and dogs are actually falling from the sky. Authors use figurative language to make their writing more fresh and lively. 2 forms of figurative language are simile and metaphor. We talked about this a lot today. Similes, just as a reminder, use those words like or as, and then metaphors compare 2 things without using like or as. So both are comparing 2 things, but simile uses like or as, metaphor does not. Okay, let's skip down here to the bottom. As waves of fog rolled across the meadow, Sam checked the faded map one more time. The map was his ticket to riches, and he had studied its markings carefully. Next, he looked around to make sure no one else was nearby. Satisfied that he was alone, Sam picked up the shovel and forced the blade into the ground with his right foot. His heart thumped in his chest like a galloping horse. Again and again, he filled the blade and flung its load of dirt aside. Rivers of sweat poured off his face as he dug deeper and deeper into the earth. Okay, what two things are being compared in the simile in this passage? Okay, where was the simile? Let's look. Da-da-da. You check the faded map one more time. Next, he looked to make sure. Satisfied that he was alone, Sam picked the shovel. His heart, there it is, his heart thumped in his chest like a galloping horse. Okay, so we're comparing his heart to a galloping horse. And how do we know this is a simile? They're using that word like. Okay, so heart and horse is the two things we're comparing. And that is listed right here in C. So C is your answer. Okay. Let's see here. We're going to read about these monarch butterflies. They are found in many parts of the world. They are some of the most beautiful and recognizable butterflies in the world. These insects have markings of deep orange and black with dots of white. The vivid colors are danger signs to predators. Better not eat us, we're poisonous. Millions of North American monarchs make an amazing journey each year. When the weather begins to turn cold, they migrate from Canada and the northern United States to California and Mexico. A journey of more than 2,000 miles during this migration. People may see colorful ribbons of butterflies traveling south for the winter. They spend the season in the mountains of Mexico. Females begin laying their eggs in early spring, some in Mexico and some along their journey northward. They lay tiny eggs on milkweed plants. These glistening miniature pearls decorate the plants for about 4 days. Small green and white caterpillars soon emerge from the eggs. They feed on the milkweed leaves like eating machines. After a couple of weeks, the fattened caterpillars attach themselves to leaves or branches, shed their skins, and form hard shells. In 9 to 15 days, butterflies emerge from the shells and open their wings as delicately as the unfolding of flower petals. Then they take to the skies. Okay. In the first passage, which of these is a metaphor? I mean, first paragraph, not passage. Okay, so is it A, most beautiful and recognizable butterflies in the world, B, markings of a deep orange and black with dots of white, or C, vivid colors are a danger sign to predators, or D, better not eat us, we're poisonous. So which is a metaphor? So in this first paragraph, it says, some of the most beautiful and recognized these insects have markings. The vivid colors are danger signs. Okay, they're comparing two things here again. Right here, they're comparing the vivid colors to danger signs. But they're not using those words like or as, right? They're just saying they are danger signs. Okay, so that makes it a metaphor. And so let's see, markings, vivid colors are danger signs. So your answer would be C. In the metaphor in the second paragraph, what two things are being compared? So let's look at the second paragraph. Where's our metaphor? Let's see. When the weather begins to turn cold, they migrate from Canada. During this migration, people may see colorful ribbons of butterflies traveling south for the winter. Colorful ribbons of butterflies. Okay, is there actually ribbons? No, it looks like ribbons. So they're comparing colorful ribbons to butterflies. That is your metaphor. And that is D is the answer. And number 3, in the third paragraph, which of these is an example of a metaphor? They lay tiny eggs on milkweed plants. These glistening miniature pearls decorate the plants for about 4 days. C, small green and white caterpillars soon emerge from the eggs. D, they feed on the milkweed leaves. Okay, so remember, metaphor, we're looking for something that's comparing two things. Laying the eggs on a milkweed plant, that's not comparing anything. Glistening miniature pearls decorate the plants for about an hour. Okay, so they're saying that eggs look like miniature glistening pearls. Okay, this is your comparison. They're comparing eggs to glistening miniature pearls. So that is your answer, B. Again, if you look at the other ones, small green and white caterpillars soon emerge from the eggs. That's not a comparison. They feed on the milkweed leaves like eating machines. Those are all statements. They're not necessarily comparison. B is the only one that's a comparison, and it doesn't use like or as, so that's a metaphor. In the last paragraph, which word signals the author's use of a simile? Okay, last paragraph. What did we say about similes? They have to use like or as, right? So if we look up here, it says, after a couple of weeks, the fattened caterpillars attach themselves to leaves or branches, shed their skins, form hard shells. In 9 to 15 days, butterflies emerge from the shells and open their wings as delicately as the unfolding of flower petals. So it's that word as that tells us that this is a simile. Okay, so A would be your answer. Okay, I hope this is making sense. It's all about comparing things and what is a metaphor and what is a simile. Okay. Don't know what's going on here. See, I spoke too soon. Apparently, I still don't know how to use this crazy thing. Well, let's do this. Let's go here. Oh, we are at the end. That was the last lesson. Okay, do you have any questions for me so far? I'll give you just a minute you can unmute your mic or you can type. I'm gonna give you a minute to do that while I get me a drink because my throat's getting dry. And then we'll talk a little bit about some other stuff and what's gonna happen for next class. I'm getting that you don't have any questions so far. Okay, was anybody able to get to your Common Lit assignment? If you didn't, that's perfectly fine. I do want you to try to go in and get that done before we meet for the next class. That is not a big deal. I do want you to go in there and do those, in between class meetings, class sessions. It is very good practice. I don't know, Lemon. I'll have to update my Common Lit class and Google Class and see if it'll come through for you on that assignment. Okay, I'll check on that after we get off here. Let's see. What do we need to talk about? Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you real quick and go over just a couple of things, just in case someone is here that wasn't in the last. See, am I on screen one? Yep. Okay, so here's your Google Classroom. We're in the stream. This is what should automatically come up when you get into your Google Class. Two things that will always be here for you to look at, to refer back to, is your Zoom link and information in case you need to have a passcode to get in. It should automatically take you in, so you shouldn't have to worry about that, but it's here if you need it. On Common Lit, you have to have a class code to join the class. It is right here. And then if you go to this classwork tab, all your homework is going to be in here. So if you're looking at today's class, these are your assignments. I will tell you, you'll see some Zoom assignments come up. If you have joined the live Zoom while we are live, you get credit for that. This is just where I go in. I do post the recording of these Zooms later in the day. Those are for people that for some reason had to miss the class, and they can get in later in the afternoon or in the evening and get on there and watch the lesson. If you miss it, you can go back and watch that lesson. You can fill out the Google form that says that you watched it and get credit for watching it. You do not have to do that if you were in the live Zoom. You're going to get credit already because I document whether you're here or not. So those will be available in the afternoon, and you'll see two of them pop up. You'll see, Zoom 1 that we did at 9, and you'll see Zoom 2 that we did at 11. Okay, but all of your assignments should be here. Those Zoom recordings are also good to go back and watch. If you're doing some homework and you're confused and you can't remember what I said about something, you could always go back and go over those, as necessary. Okay. Again, each class time, our class meets on Mondays and Wednesdays. Let's see, we meet on Mondays and Wednesdays. We start with the Zoom at 9. We get off by 10, do assignments for the next hour, and then we meet back on here at 11 on days that we meet for class. So Mondays and Wednesdays are our usual meeting days, or class days, I should say. Now, the next class would be on Monday, but Monday is a holiday. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So we will not have class or meet that day. We will meet back here next Wednesday, which is the 19th. Is that correct? Man, this month is going by fast. Yes, we'll meet back on the 19th for our next class session. So between now and then, I want you to get all of your homework assignments done for today. Another thing, assignments will show up in your class on Google. I think I have it set for like 5 a.m. in the morning for those to pop up. So you can work on those some before class. I really wouldn't suggest it. It's better if you join the Zoom or at least watch the Zoom before you do your assignments. Otherwise, it may be something that it's better to have instruction first and then try to do your homework. But if you just had to, for some reason, they are available by 5 o'clock in the morning on the day of class. Is there any other questions so far for me? Okay. If not, we are going to dismiss for the day. And I just ask that you work on any assignments that you didn't get done today before we meet next Wednesday. And if you would, go ahead and type your name in the chat box to sign out. That's how you get credit for being here, signing in and signing out. I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend this weekend and a good, holiday day off Monday. And I hope that you all stay safe and healthy out there. COVID is ramping up again. So, you might want to kind of chill out on the social activities. I hate to do that, but maybe we could FaceTime or Zoom with people instead of seeing them for a while. Maybe we can get some of this COVID to die down. Okay. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Wednesday morning. As always, you can text me or email me with any questions. Okay. Bye-bye.